everybody, and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. This is where we give you the lowdown of everything important that's happened in the country and the world over the last 24 hours in an old school style news bulletin without any opinion. Remember, there's a quiz question at the end of it, depending on how carefully you listen to the news, and that quiz will be at the end of the bulletin. Let's get straight to it. Yoga teacher Baba Ramdev, Mr. Ramdev, has moved Supreme Court asking for a stay on proceedings against him because of the multiple FIRs that have been lodged against him for his remarks against allopathic medicine, in which he criticized doctors over their treatment protocol of COVID-19. Now, last month, the Indian Medical Association lodged complaints over his dishonest and wrongful representations, he said, in their complaints on allopathy. As per the complaint of the Indian Medical Association, which is an association of doctors, over the last year, Mr. Ramdev has allegedly been propagating false information on social media against medicines being used by the medical fraternity and the Indian Council for Medical Research and other frontline organizations in the treatment of COVID infections. Now, there are several videos of him on social media in which he had allegedly made such misleading remarks, the complaint said. Mr. Ramdev was booked, by booked it means the FIR was registered against him under sections for disobedience to order duly promulgated by a public servant, negligent activity that is causing danger to life, intentional insult, and provoking a breach of peace, and other provisions under the Disaster Management Act 2005. In some relief now to the citizens of Lakshadweep who've been protesting for weeks against decisions made by the government administrator Praful Kota Patel, saying that he was making decisions that were not in line with the culture of the people of the island, the Kerala High Court today has put a stay on two of those decisions. One, the decision to remove non-vegetarian products or meat and eggs from the midday meals of schools in the island of Lakshadweep. And the second decision was to close down dairy farms on the island. Now, the Kerala High Court questioned the rationale behind removing meat items from the midday meals in Lakshadweep and observed that physicians and doctors have said that eggs, chicken, fish and meat are essential for children's growth. The court also ordered that dairy farms should continue functioning until further notice. The order read, and I quote, "We find no reason for the change of food items with the exclusion of meat and chicken. Therefore, we are inclined to pass an interim order directing respondents, in this case the government, to provide food as done before, including meat and chicken, to the children of the schools of Lakshadweep," end quote. This comes after a petitioner sought to quash the orders passed by Praful Kota Patel, who is the government administrator of the island, to ban meat from midday meals and shut down dairy farms in Lakshadweep, among others. Now, you'll remember that the residents of Lakshadweep have been protesting on the internet and also across the island against these rules that have been brought about by Mr. Patel, including lifting restrictions on alcohol in parts of the island that are inhabited by citizens, by banning beef, and of course bringing in new rules on development that allow the government to take over land that belongs to citizens. Praful Kota Patel is the former Home Minister of the government of Gujarat. He was Home Minister of Gujarat while the current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, was Chief Minister in Gujarat. He is the first politician to be appointed as administrator for Lakshadweep. Up until now, the position was held by bureaucrats. Maharashtra state government's hospital nurses are on a 48-hour strike. Their demands include a COVID allowance, promotions, and recruitment of more people on the workforce to reduce their workload. They also went on to say that they have not been granted any leave because of COVID. Majority of the nurses in question are from JJ Hospital in Mumbai, and nurses from 24 districts participated in the protest as well. They claim that every state is getting a nursing allowance according to the 6th Pay Commission, except the state of Maharashtra. According to a report in CNBC, the global network, WHO's Chief Executive Director, Dr. Mike Ryan, during a news conference, said the Delta variant is the fastest moving and the fittest coronavirus strain yet, and it will pick off the most vulnerable people, especially in places where COVID vaccination rates are low. He went on to say that the variant, which originated in India, has potential, and I quote, to be lethal because it's a more efficient way to transmit between humans, and it will eventually find those vulnerable individuals who will become severely ill and we have to be hospitalized or potentially die. End quote. Remember, the Delta variant is being considered to be largely responsible for the second wave of COVID we witnessed in India. According to the Health Ministry in India, India has now reported 40 cases of the Delta Plus variant. Cases have been reported in Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka, and Madhya Pradesh. The centre has advised these states to strengthen their surveillance and take appropriate public health measures. The Delta Plus variant has been tagged a variant of concern by the government. It was a variant of interest until about 2 days ago. INSAGOG, which is a consortium of 28 labs tasked with genome sequencing of the virus causing COVID, says the properties of the Delta Plus variant, which is a mutation of the Delta variant, are still being investigated. It is characterized by a mutation in the spike protein, which helps the virus gain entry into human cells. Delta Plus has also now been detected in 9 countries: US, UK, Portugal, Switzerland, Japan, Poland, Nepal, China, and Russia. India reported 50,848 COVID cases, 1,358 deaths in the last 24 hours. The active caseload has now dropped to over 6 lakh and the national recovery rate has increased to 96.56%. Kerala remains the worst affected state at 12,617 cases, followed by Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. Now, you'll remember on Monday, India broke a world record by administering more than 8 million or 88 lakh doses of COVID vaccines to citizens in just one day. This is more than any other country has achieved so far. It was a matter, of course, of great pride, and it was splashed across the front pages of all the newspapers. But on Tuesday, the number took a tumble. The country only managed 53.4 lakh doses, so that is about 5.3 million doses compared to the 8 million doses that hit the record. And yesterday we told you how the numbers in the last 4 days in the run-up to that world record were also brought down a lot and were sharply lower. Now, let's take a look at what it means if we do manage to hold on to this 5 million per day number that we've managed yesterday. India has 950 million adults to vaccinate altogether. We have, as per the government, managed to vaccinate 5% of our population, adult population, with 2 doses. So that leaves us with about 900 million people. Now, as of the beginning of June, we had given 170 million people at least 1 dose, which means, this is me doing back of the envelope calculation, about 730 million people who need 2 doses, and the remaining 170 million need 1 dose. So that's a total of 1,650 million doses that has to be administered at the rate of 5 million per day. That should take us the better part of 1 year or 330 days if the pace doesn't drop lower than 5 million a day. Now, according to a report in Scroll, data has suggested that the record of 88 lakh vaccinations was enabled because of a slowdown of vaccinations in the 4 days in the run-up to Monday. According to the Coven portal, they said Madhya Pradesh, which saw the highest vaccinations of all states at 16 lakh, actually gave out only 692 doses the previous day. And the report also goes out to quote other such numbers from other states like Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh. Let's take a look now at news coming in from the world of business. According to a report by LinkedIn, working women in India are 4 times more worried about losing their jobs, paying their loans, and running out of savings than their male counterparts are. Now, the report was based on a survey conducted among 1,891 professionals in India between the 8th of May and the 4th of June, and it revealed the aftermath of the pandemic's second wave on India's professionals. Now, it said basically that Gen Z, which is the youngest category of professionals in their early 20s, and working women are the ones that are increasingly facing economic uncertainty. It showed that working women and their confidence has dipped 4 times. So 1 in every 4 women, or 23%, said that they're worried right now about growing expenses, about their loans, about their jobs. In contrast, 1 in every 10 men said that they were worried. young Indians, who are in their early 20s, are twice as worried as their older counterparts about their career. So the survey found that 30% of Gen Z professionals are currently troubled because of the lack of jobs, and only 18% of the boomers are worried about the lack of jobs. The report also showed that India's overall work confidence has declined after peaking in March this year. The dip in confidence is reflected strongly in professionals who work in creative industries like entertainment, design, media, communications. They expressed having the most uncertainty about their future and about whether or not their employers will continue to keep them on the job. The Enforcement Directorate has said that it has seized and transferred assets of Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi worth 9,371 crore rupees to public sector banks and the central government. The total assets attached by the Enforcement Directorate are worth 18,170 crore rupees. The centre is also seeking extradition of Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi from UK and Mehul Choksi, who's currently in Dominica, in trial. Also on Tuesday, Microsoft has become the second US listed public company to reach a valuation of $2 trillion. Now, before this, Saudi Aramco hit that $2 trillion market value, followed by Apple that managed to do it in August of last year. Microsoft is the second in the US and the third in the world. News coming in now from across the world. White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci has said the Delta variant, which originated in India, is the greatest threat to the eradication of COVID in the US. He said the transmissibility is unquestionably greater in the Delta variant compared to other variants, and it is associated with an increased disease severity. According to the latest data, there were 150 million people in the US, and more than 45% of the population have been fully vaccinated with 2 doses. According to Reuters, Canada's House of Commons on Tuesday passed a bill that criminalizes LGBTQI conversion therapy. The House passed the bill with 263 votes in favor and 63 votes against. Now, conversion therapy effectively is therapy that aims at changing a person's sexual orientation. Effectively, this happens in India a lot as well. When someone says that they're either gay or transgender, there is an attempt to sort of cure them. That conversion therapy has been criminalized in Canada, which includes hypnosis, electric shocks, fasting, or any other kind of talking therapy. And one piece of positive news before we leave you for today. 24-year-old Moya Sudan has become the first woman from Jammu and Kashmir to be inducted as a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force. She's the 12th woman fighter pilot in the Air Force as of now. The Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor tweeted congratulating her as a daughter of JNK who has been commissioned as a flying officer in the Indian Air Force. He said, "It is a matter of immense pride and joy to see you scripting history. With this achievement, you have lent wings to the dreams of millions of our daughters." End quote. Well, that brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Do leave us your feedback. Remember, your quiz question for the day is this: which was the first American listed company to hit a valuation of $2 trillion? Leave us the answer in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.